Hello, this is David with DeLong Rigging Solutions. In order to know where to rig things overhead, we mark the floor to indicate the exact position we want the items to be located. There's not an industry standard for these markings, but there are some common practices and terminology. Once you get the hang of one system, it's pretty easy to figure out the others. For a touring show, there is typically a head rigger who will work with a team to mark the floor. Then they, or the venue's head rigger, will mark what configuration of wire rope, deck chain, shackles, and slings are needed to be used to get something from the venue's riggable structure overhead to hang at that location. The basic symbol shows what size of chain motor is needed. The common sizes are quarter ton, half ton, 1 ton, and 2 ton. In each case, a cross is drawn on the floor to show the exact location. Then a shape is drawn to show what size or type of motor goes there. Again, this symbol may change from show to show, but often 1 ton is a circle about a foot in diameter. Similarly, a 2 ton gets a square with a cross in it so it looks like 4 window panes. The half ton is often a triangle with the cross lines inside, and a quarter ton is often a diamond shape, which looks a bit like a kite after the cross is drawn in it. Now that we know what and where, we need to mark how to hang the hoist. The simplest is a dead hang, meaning the hoist will hang from a house rigging point that is directly above the corresponding cross on the floor. Then we consider how long the chain is on the motor and how high that house rigging point is from the ground. Let's say the house beam is 85 feet above the floor and the chain motor has 65 feet of chain. Subtract the 65-foot chain from the 85-foot total height, and you have 20 foot left to fill. We use our wire rope hardware to do that. So if there is a 1 ton or smaller hoist, it would need a blue-ended 20-foot long piece of 3/8 inch wire rope, and a way to attach it to the structure. I mark the floor with a vertical line and write the number 20 next to it. That's our stinger. I still need to attach the top end of the stinger to the beam overhead. We call that a basket because it looks like an old-fashioned basket handle. The size of the beam determines how long the basket is, but usually the basket is made from a 5-foot piece of wire rope, a red-ended one. So I mark a short horizontal line by my 20-foot stinger vertical and write the number 5. Some venues write this like a fraction with a 5/20. Still others will simply write 20 plus 5. Or 20 plus 5B, where the B is to indicate the basket cable. The uprigger wraps the beam with some burlap, then wraps the 5-foot basket over that, makes the connection, and gently lowers the basket under the beam. Let's recap. The basket cable wraps the beam and is attached to the 20-foot stinger, which holds the chain, which descends to the motor. Once all of that is in place and the motor gets powered, the crew will attach whatever it is they want to fly. Let's say the point we are aiming for is not under a structural hanging point, and we have to hang between 2 building beams. We call that a bridle because it is similar to the bridle of a horse. 2 lines, one on each opposite side, and if you pull harder on one side, the point pulls that way. So let's draw a triangle for a half-ton hoist. To show there's a bridle, we draw a V shape with a horizontal line off the top of each leg of the V. Let's say the right leg of the bridle has a 15-foot leg. I write 15 next to that leg, then a 5 above the little horizontal line to show that's the basket for that side. On the other side, let's say there's a huge beam, so that gets a 10-foot basket. I draw a 10 above the little horizontal line on that side. And let's say the leg of the left side is a combination of a 10-foot and 3-foot lengths of deck chain. I'll write 10 plus 3L to show that. Let's say the rigging points are still 85 feet above the floor, and this motor also has 65 feet of chain. The V shape of the bridle doesn't hang down far enough to reach. Even if the 15-foot side were hanging straight down, it wouldn't be enough. So we'll add a 10-foot stinger to the bottom of the V, between the V and the chain. That way we have 10-foot stinger plus 15-foot from the right leg minus the length we lose because the 15-foot piece is not hanging straight down, plus the 65 feet of chain. That gives us slightly less than 90 feet, and should be close enough to work. Another method would be to draw the bridle as a big letter Y, marking 10 by the bottom of the Y, and 15 plus 5B on the right leg, and making a fraction of 10B over 10 plus 3L on the left leg. 15 plus a 5 basket, and over here we would put 10 plus 3 links with a 10 basket. And that would be the exact same configuration, just written another way. For a 2-ton hoist, we use a square with a cross. I might also write 2T next to it to reinforce this is a 2-ton motor, which also means we need to use 1/2-inch wire rope. Let's say this is a 20-foot down and 15-foot split basket. I can write 15 SB over 20. I'll draw a vertical line, write 20 by that, and then a short horizontal one with 15 SB over that. Or write it as 20 plus 15 SB. You use a split basket when a 5-footer isn't long enough to safely wrap the beam, and a 10-footer would mean the shackles are too far below you to easily work with. In that case, the rigging rope gets tied to the 5-foot side of the basket, and the 10-foot side of the basket lays inside of the bowline. Once that is pulled up to the ceiling, the uprigger then wraps the beam with the 10-foot side of the split basket, attaches it to the 5-foot side, and carefully lowers it into place. If you use a split basket, then the connection point ends up only a couple of feet below you and is much easier to reach. Please remember that DeLong Rigging Solutions one-shot training videos are meant as general information. Every system is different, every venue has different procedures, and even the same show in different places has different needs. All statements made make certain assumptions about systems and venue similarities. Nothing can replace on-site training with a qualified individual. If you ever have a question or concern about rigging, do not hesitate to reach out to us or another qualified vendor in your area.